everyone, this is Ira Josephs, a volunteer for Pottstown EcoFest, and I work for Green Mountain Energy 100% Renewable Power Company. And I'm going to tell you about an easy, affordable way to support clean energy in your homes. And although I think that Green Mountain is an excellent choice, there are other options out there, and I'm happy to consult with you on what works best for you. If you feel like it, reach out to me. That's irabike@yahoo.com or 610-245-3745. And I'll put these up later so that you'll have a chance to get down this information if you want to reach out. So I know that you all understand the problem of greenhouse gases emitted that we burn when we burn gasoline in our cars or burn coal or natural gas to make electricity that then go into our atmosphere and trap the heat that is warming the planet. So as a result, we have melting sea ice and rising shorelines, more moisture in the air, and frequent and more severe storms, altered weather patterns that include severe droughts and catastrophic wildfires. There's billions of dollars in damage that are ultimately paid for by taxpayer dollars. And rising temperatures are also displacing animals and plants from their natural habitats are affected and will also affect what food crops we can grow here in the U.S. So these conditions are occurring now, and if we continue on the same course, our own existence could be threatened. In the U.S., transportation recently surpassed electricity generation as the greatest source of greenhouse gases. So I urge everyone to ditch their cars and flying and walk, ride a bike, take public transportation, and get an electric car. And I'm happy to talk with anyone about that too, as I do all those things. So for electricity, get solar panels. You can lease them, but if you can buy, it is more economically beneficial for you. If you can't get your own panels because you have too much shade or you have a lot of dormers on your roof or your roof is old, then you can still choose an energy supplier that purchases your electricity from wind farms and solar installations. Many states, including the whole Mid-Atlantic region from Connecticut and Massachusetts to Virginia, are deregulated for electric supply. That means you can choose someone other than your utility to be your supplier, and is super easy and very affordable. In Maryland and now in South Jersey, you can purchase solar energy from a small solar farm in your community. Check out Neighborhood Solar. And there are two companies, including Green Mountain Energy, that offer you the option to choose methane gas captured from landfills instead of fracked gas, delivered by PECO, PGW, or UGI. This would be for heat, cooking, or hot water. So now I'm going to pass this over to a special guest to explain more about choosing a clean energy supplier.
People, this is Clean Energy Man, and we have a big problem, and you can help. Right now, our burning fossil fuels for transportation, for heat, for electricity, we're causing the planet to heat up, and we're jeopardizing our very existence on the planet. But you can help. You can choose a clean energy supplier like Green Mountain Energy and have all your electricity made by wind and solar. Right now, if you live in Pennsylvania, your electricity is made by burning coal, nuclear power, fracking for natural gas. It's all bad for the environment and bad for our health. But you can choose to have your electricity made by 100% wind energy. It's easy. You still get your same bill from the utility. You get the same service. They say that one customer switching saves almost 14,000 pounds of carbon from going in the air, which is like not driving 15,000 miles a year. So please, everybody, help Clean Energy Man to help you, to help save the planet. Call Ira now. Thank you so much.
I want to thank Green Energy Man for his efforts to make the planet a better place. He's really awesome, isn't he? So I just want to mention a few other things to elaborate on some of the stuff that he talked about and mention a few things that he didn't get into. So obviously, I really care about the environment, and I want everybody to use clean energy, and I want to make it affordable for everybody. So one thing I want to mention is that anytime you switch to a different supplier, whether it's renewable energy or whether it's conventional electricity, you need to keep on top of it. So usually you get a 1-year fixed rate. You just have to make sure that you do something at the end of the year by either calling the customer service and renewing your rate, or if you see somebody in person, an agent in person, you can renew that way. Because if you don't, it'll go to a variable rate, and then probably the rate will start increasing at some point. And it's a law in Pennsylvania that we have to send you 2 letters in the mail as a reminder before the end of the term, so to make sure you do that. Maryland, you get 1 letter in the mail. New Jersey, unfortunately, there's no law about that, so companies don't bother sending out any notification that you're coming to the end of the 1-year term. But you can always, set a reminder on your phone or such. So that's the one thing. The other thing is that some pushback things that I get from people when I'm around the states talking to people about renewable energy and trying to convince them to switch. I hear that Green Mountain Energy, people say that Green Mountain Energy is owned by NRG, which is a power company that owns fossil fuel plants as well. And that's true. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of NRG, which is a large power company. But NRG is also the only power company that has been putting out for the last 3 years a really detailed sustainability report. They're very transparent. And not only that, but they have a goal to be carbon neutral by 2050, and they're ahead of that at this point. So I feel really good about that. I wouldn't feel comfortable about my job if I felt like by signing people up for clean energy, I was really supporting fossil fuel industry as well. The other thing is that Green Mountain's office is in Philadelphia, where most of our customer service is. Like anytime you call, you're probably going to talk to people in Philadelphia. A couple times I've talked to people in Texas, where our main headquarters is, but they're easy to understand and they're going to be very helpful. So that's a really good thing. And also, when you're a Green Mountain customer around here, since we're out of this office in Philadelphia, you're basically supporting almost 50 local green jobs. So that's a really good thing. And then also, we have the Green Mountain Energy Sun Club, which is really awesome. We make a monthly donation in everyone's name into the Sun Club, and we use that money to give solar installations to nonprofits. So we've given almost $9 million away in free solar panels over the life of the Sun Club. And some of the local, or some of the projects that we've donated to in Pittsburgh, Frick Environmental Center, and also there's a rescue league. It's called the Animal Rescue League Shelter and Wildlife Center. And then also around Philadelphia, a couple years ago, we gave solar panels to the Wellness Garden at Lankenau Hospital. And then just this past spring, we gave solar panels and some other things also to the Overbrook School of the Blind in Philadelphia. So I feel really happy to be supporting that as well. Another issue you hear about all the time is that wind turbines kill birds. And that's also true to some extent. But it's very, very small percentage of the wind farms that are out there are killing birds, but it's sort of sensationalized. People grab onto it. There's way more birds that are getting killed by crashing into skyscrapers, but nobody talks about taking the skyscrapers down. People let their cats out, and they do a lot of hunting and are actually decimating the songbird population. So, and I've heard that I've also discovered in my research about this that it's mostly the first wind farms that were put up many years ago where they didn't realize it was going to be a problem. Now they are much more careful where they site them, so it's not in a migratory path. There's also 2 studies I know about. One is, I think it's from University of Oregon, I read about a year or 2 ago, where they have a system where they can detect the birds that are coming to the, about to crash into a wind turbine. And they either shine light on the ground if it's at night or shade on the ground if it's during the day. And the birds are looking down and they see it and they freak out and they go around it. There's also a study that just recently came out in Norway, and they discovered that by painting one of the blades black, that causes the birds to go around it as well. And there's even some places I've read where they employ somebody to stand on the ground with binoculars, and if they see birds coming, they radio back and they turn off certain, they turn them off so they don't crash into them. So, and you get to think of the opposite. Think of, we're burning coal right now, and that's putting out all these chemicals that are, killing people and harming their health. The coal miners are getting black lung disease, and they're blowing off the tops of mountains to get to the coal. All that debris goes into the streams and is killing all kinds of habitat and wildlife. So wind farms and even solar panels are not perfect, but we need to stop burning that because of carbon emissions and climate change. So it's really important. And then the last thing is, I hear sometimes that you hear people say that there's way more maintenance on wind turbines. How do they recycle the blades? That over the lifetime of them, they're not really any better than the fossil fuel plants. And again, you can find anything on the internet. I haven't really seen anything definitive about that. I know there's a lot of really smart people, like Bill McKibben from 350.org, who say that this is really important to for the planet. Paul Hawken, who's written the book about the drawdown, they all think that renewable energy is important for us to do to move forward in the future. And not only that, but the large power companies, like think Duke Energy, Dominion down in Virginia, they're all making big investments in renewable energy now. So if they're all doing it, it's got to be the right thing to do, I think. So that's pretty much it. The other thing is that I hear that renewables are putting coal miners out of business. And again, that's true to some extent, but in actuality, in the last 10 or 20 years, a lot of coal mining has got automated, and that's put a lot of workers out of business, such as people, now that they're blowing the tops off of mountains, they don't need to employ so many coal miners to get all the way down into the mine and get the coal out that way. And renewable energy business right now is creating jobs way more than any other power generation. And we just need to give those people, make sure that they're taken care of so that they have, clean energy jobs, that they could be either cleaning up the coal, the abandoned coal mines, or that they can have jobs with, related to renewable energy or something else. So it's a transition, it's not going to be all that easy, but I think it's really important for the future of the planet. I think it's important for now, and I think that everybody should be able to, this is something that everybody can do by just choosing their own supplier, just right through their utility, and you can be a part of the solution. So thank you so much, and listen to some of the other great videos, and maybe I'll see you again. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.